Today we're talking about AMD, the scrappy chip maker that went from also ran to please stop stealing my servers in less than a decade. AMD is showing up on lists as one of the hot American tech stocks right now, and for good reason. Why some lists call AMD one of the 15 best American tech stocks? Quick answer: AMD checks a lot of investor boxes right now, accelerating revenue growth, meaningful share gains in high-margin server CPUs, a growing AI accelerator line, and product momentum in both consumer and data center segments. That combination makes it the sort of stock that articles and screeners flag as a top tech pick. Lists that rank the best tech stocks often weigh market cap, institutional holdings, growth potential, and recent performance, and AMD's recent numbers and narrative fit the bill. If you see AMD on a top 15 list, it's because the company is finally delivering results that look like a sustained structural turnaround, not a one-off good quarter. Imagine a punk band that used to play in basements suddenly getting invited to Coachella. Same core musicians, but now bigger stages and better merch deals. The Goldman Sachs mic drop, Forrest Nord on September 8th. On September 8th, Forrest Nord, AMD's EVP and GM of the Data Center Solutions Group, took the stage at Goldman Sachs Communicopia Plus Technology Conference to lay out the data center story, strength in CPUs, momentum in AI accelerators, and the company's strategy to win more hyperscaler and enterprise design wins. Presentations like this matter because they're not PR fluff, they're an operator-level view of product ramp timing, partner traction, and technical roadmaps that investors and customers watch closely. When Nord speaks, the market listens. Picture Nord in a crisp blazer, clicker in hand, unveiling a slide that makes CFOs reach for their phones and engineers quietly high-five. Server CPUs, AMD's 41% revenue share, what that actually means. Here's the headline: AMD now accounts for roughly 41% of server CPU revenue, a striking figure. Important nuance: that's a revenue share, not necessarily a units share, which tells us AMD is winning higher margin, high core count deals, EPYC CPUs, where dollars per socket are larger. In other words, AMD is selling the premium slices of the server market, the chips hyperscalers and cloud providers pay top dollar for. Those wins translate into better ASPs, average selling prices, and healthier margins for the data center business. If the server market were a pizza party, AMD moved from bringing a couple of cheap pepperoni slices to owning the gourmet truffle and prosciutto pie that people fight over. By the way, if you are benefiting from the content so far and want more like this, like the video, it means much to me. Hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications bell, and comment the word more. Just go ahead and type the word more so I know. Now that you have commented, let's continue. Why the 41% number matters to investors. A big revenue share in servers does three things. It proves AMD's architecture is competitive at scale, it gives AMD pricing power on high-end SKUs, and it builds long-term customer relationships. Hyperscalers standardize on one vendor across racks and regions. For investors, this means the company isn't just a gaming CPU story anymore, it's a core infrastructure supplier. Infrastructure wins tend to be sticky. Once data centers standardize, swapping vendors is expensive and disruptive. That stickiness supports recurring revenue and makes the growth more defensible. GPU ambitions, the 20% target and why it's bold. AMD says it wants to be a meaningful player in GPUs, not just in consumer gaming but in data center AI accelerators. There's analyst chatter and internal modeling that suggests AMD's MI300 family and follow-on chips could capture 20% or more of certain GPU segments, especially where customers value price/performance or memory capacity, if software ecosystems, like RCM, and partner integrations keep pace. Put simply, AMD is racing to be the affordable high-performance choice to NVIDIA's premium dominant position. If they pull it off, it changes the competitive map for AI compute. Think of NVIDIA as the luxury sedan of AI GPUs and AMD as the sporty crossover that's almost as fast, way cheaper to own, and fits more luggage, attractive to fleet buyers. How AMD could practically get to 20% GPU share. 3 practical paths. performance per dollar wins. Customers running huge clusters care about throughput per dollar and memory per dollar. If AMD's Instinct chips deliver comparable throughput at a better TCO, total cost of ownership, hyperscalers and cloud providers will buy. Software and ecosystems. The classic AMD weak spot: CUDA compatibility and ecosystem momentum. If RCM and tooling for model ports get smoother, the friction for customers to switch drops dramatically. Design wins and supply deals. Landing a few mega design wins with cloud giants or a major OEM bundle can jumpstart adoption and give AMD the volume it needs to justify more engineering and software investments. Each path is necessary. Price alone won't be enough without software and distribution. It's the difference between making a faster blender and getting every smoothie cafe owner to agree to use it. You need both better performance and a compelling reasons to switch. AMD's $500 billion AI-accelerated TAM. What that number means. AMD has publicly discussed a very large AI-accelerated total addressable market, TAM. Figures around $500 billion have been cited in company commentary and analyst discussion for future AI accelerator demand. That's not AMD's revenue target. It's a macro view of how big the market for AI accelerators, related data center infrastructure, and AI-optimized systems could become over a multi-year horizon. The takeaway: the pie is enormous, and even a single-digit share would be hugely meaningful to AMD's top line. Broadcom plus AMD in the $475 billion AI chip market by 2030, reading the tea leaves. Recent analyst pieces, and the headlines that follow, suggest the broader AI chip market could approach $475 billion by 2030, and that players like Broadcom and AMD will carve out material slices as hyperscalers diversify away from a single supplier. The analyst view expects NVIDIA's share to shrink from its current dominance as customers pursue alternatives for cost, customization, and geopolitical diversification. In these scenarios, Broadcom and AMD are among the beneficiaries, not the majority winners, but important secondary players. That's bullish for AMD if the company continues to execute its accelerator roadmap that could hit it to $2,000 in coming years. Note this as well. Fear God, and give glory to Him, for the hour of His judgment is come, and worship Him that made heaven, and earth, and the sea, and the fountains of waters. And there followed another angel, saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead, or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels, and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night. Who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Here is the patience of the saints, here are they that keep the commandments of God, and the faith of Jesus. Revelation 14 verses 7-12. If we fully obey the Lord, the Creator of heaven and earth, and carefully follow all His commandments, He has promised to set us high above all the nations of the earth. Deuteronomy 28. We shall be blessed when we come in and when we go out. I appeal to you to accept God and let Him be your guide, for He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged. Deuteronomy 31 verse 8. Want more information? Please check the description section. That's the end for now. If you have watched until the end, drop a comment like this: I stayed until the end. Just comment that I stayed until the end. When I see this comment, I will give you a heart. 3 more favors I request from you. First, like this video, subscribe and then turn on the notifications bell. If you do this, you greatly encourage me to continue bringing to you insightful content. Do not miss out on our future videos full of insight. All I am asking is your subscription. Thanks for joining us today. Your support means so much to us. Do not hesitate to share this video to help someone who may benefit. I recommend that you watch the next video, subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts about today's video. Wish you God's blessings and care. Faith and prayer will do what no power on earth can accomplish. See you in the next video by God's mercy.